Hi guys, welcome to my second part of the Wing Gambit, my beloved weapon against French defense. And in the first video we have discussed the accepted versions where we were playing e5, c5, b4, and we have seen all the things after c takes b4. We were playing a3, or if they wanna try to keep the position like we were just getting the full center, and you will have a great time. But you know, at the practical level, like 20% of the time in your games after b4 you might see some tries such as b6, interesting move, d4, another interesting move. d4 is a little bit dubious, but you know, at practical level these decline tries score very well because it puts the French Gambit players, this is in our case us, might put us into some unfamiliar territory. So you have to be a little bit precise for how to deal with these annoying tries such as d4 and b6. So let's start with first b6. This is the most popular declined version at online level, and the idea of b6 is they just want to keep the tension, they just want to not touch any of the pawns, and if you take, which is another good move, they will simply recapture with the b pawn. So the first move that we have to remember is c3. Now we want to play c3 and we want to still force them to get into our Wings Gambit territory with such as b takes a3 and then d4. Now we know the plans, you know, knight takes a3, bishop d3, h4. The only exception is black pawn being on b6 instead of b7. So having said this, black want to keep the tension and try to develop some peace in this position. So the moves are knight c6. Stockfish points out it's a decent move, but I think practically it's a bad move, and white scores really well. What are the other moves they can try to develop, but also a little bit dubious? We'll come to that. Queen d7 is interesting. Well, queen d7 might look odd, but one of the typical ideas in French with b6 move is they wanna trade the light square bishops like this, but this fails tactically because of queen a4 and we pick up the knight. And if they start with queen d7 though, now let's say we play a3 and they can play this move, and we won't be able to play queen a4 because queen is defending the a4 square. So let's start with first knight c6. Knight c6, we are playing d4. It might look like you know, we might blunder some pawn, but no. After c takes b4, we're playing a3, forcing them to get to our Wings Gambit territory, but they can capture like this. However, for instance, if they take, okay, oh, what is this? He blunders the pawn. I will take, he will take, and before saying no, we first flick in b5. We attack the knight, and knight has to, I mean, I don't wanna cover this. Knight takes, knight b8 retreating, knight a5, and now we capture the pawn. We have a good center. And this pawn is really unpleasant. It is not easy to attack. They should really try to get rid of that pawn. The most popular move is bishop d7, which is a really bad move. Like that bishop is not attacking that pawn. We simply develop bishop d3. Let's say black tries to play some rook c8, maybe knight c4. We continue developing knight c4. Now it attacks b5 pawn. We defend. We just want them to take and then keep the tension. Like let's say they pin us, we don't care. We simply castle. If they play knight d7, I mean they can play still this move, but we can, I think, play rook b1 or rook a2. Knight d7. Now we play queen e2, and they still can't castle because most likely there will be some Greek gift sacrifices. So this is a very pleasant position for white, and Stockfish says plus 1.5 because I don't know what move would you recommend after? Okay, bishop c3 only a useful looking move, maybe this, maybe rook a2, and I don't know what would you recommend for black for the next move. So this bishop d7 is a little bit unfortunate. Bishop b4 scored really well because most players traded the pieces, and this helps them to develop easily, I guess. And so, or maybe I don't know, a6 first. So, but this move is actually bad because we can block with our bishop, our knight. Excuse me. We want to keep the pieces, we just develop, and they have to play like a6, trying to get rid of that pawn. And now we play a4, and still we will have a good time. I don't think this is really going well for you can play knight b3. We will take with the queen, and we will have once again a good time. So this bishop b4 is a bad move, and they should play a6 most likely, trying to get rid of that pawn. Now a4 again. This check, we want to keep the pieces. Knight e7, just I think now we can play knight c3, or we can maybe play h4, I guess. Also good, and we will have a good position. Alrighty. So black's best try is, rather than taking the d4 pawn, the b4 pawn, and after a3 not taking this one and securing it as a good center, they should take this one. Now we don't have the c3 pawn, but we develop a knight, which is good. Now knight g2 e7 or bishop d7 has been tried. Knight g2 e7, you know, when this knight sits here, we know what to do. It might come to one of these squares, but we can start with h4. And if here we will even roll the pawn if knight a5. I think we can also try like g4 and click the knight back. So this knight g2 e7 is not a promising move. Bishop d7 has been tried, but now here there is a brilliant move pointed out by computer. Brilliant move is bishop a6. Well, when I first saw this, okay, what does that move achieve? It stops rook c8, but actually it has a very concrete idea. We want to play knight b5 next. Knight b5 next. That's why now it says you should bring the bishop back, and we will be up a tempo. But like, imagine. It is here black to play, and they play this move, we play this move here, so we gain bishop d3 with extra tempo. But for instance, if they play some developing move like knight e7, now we will play knight b5, and knight g6. Knight d6 is a checkmating threat. Like knight g6 is really unpleasant, you know, h4. And if they play h5, now we will have bishop g5, forcing them to play f6, because after this we can give this check, and this looks really unpleasant. So this bishop a6 is a brilliant resource, I must say. So this was the knight c6 move, guys. Let's see, like knight e7 is a little bit dubious, second most popular move. Now we play d4. c4 is not good closing the position, we will have a great attack. Let's say they try to jump and also attacking now this pawn, we want to defend. And if they take, we will have a great center once again. If they take, we will have once again a great center. All these undermining operations with a5 fails into b5. And now this knight has literally no prospects. Like all these pawns are literally restricting all of black's queenside play. So after a3, let's say they try to develop, and here, okay, I thought maybe g4 gambit is great, you know, like we wanna get into some sort of position where we have seen in the previous video with this sacrifice and then rook g1, but black hasn't castled yet, so they can actually take and then play g6, and because black hasn't castled, our attack is actually not that promising, you know. Like you can play, I don't know, queen h6, Okay, you don't allow them to castle, but they develop, attack, put pressure on the pawn. Now we can pin that knight. They can play queen c7, bishop d7, and I tell you, black is not getting checkmated anytime soon. Therefore, we should not rush with g4. We should wait with bishop d3. Now castling is way too dangerous, because after g4, this gambit is absolutely sensational. g5, they take, we play queen h5, double attack, and a6 has been played. I think black should really give up the piece, but like a6, now we don't want to trade the queens, obviously. We have a brilliant move, rook g1. We are sacrificing the bishop, and after takes, we are allowing them to take the knight with check. Put the king on d2, but this is over. Queen takes a6 is a threat. g6 we will sack. So black might feel like they should play f5 just to close down this diagonal, giving up this pawn. Now they can play rook f7 or queen e7 to allow to not get checkmated. But let's say queen e7, we have all the time to play rook g3. Black has literally no moves to stop, like here, and then this will be checkmate anytime soon. That is simply sensational. So just wait, do not rush with g4. Black hasn't castled it, just wait, you know, small trap. D takes d4 is also like awful, and we will have a good time. So this knight e7 is not that promising. Queen d7 is interesting, as I said. They want to trade the light square bishops with bishop a6, so you can play d4, but now this pawn is also hanging. I think it is best our interest for to take and then play d4. Well, they can play bishop a6, so that is life. You can maybe try to trade, but I think a good version is just something like this. And knight c6. Now maybe we can play h5, maybe we can play rook h3, and it is slightly better for white. And knight a3, knight b5 is also decent. And if you want, also you can put extra protection for the center with knight a3, knight c3, and you will have a good time still. But queen d7 is a good try, I must say. a5 is a little bit premature. You can push b5, you can take on c5, but I like this way, and knight a3. This is good. b5 closing up the position way too. I like opening up the position right here, and then knight a3 is a brilliant move. Great move. Knight is heading to c6 square. Let's say they develop. No, knight b5 is slightly unpleasant, you know. I mean, the knight is great on b5 because that square is weakened by black's move, and we will have once again a good time. What else has been tried? C takes b4, we have seen. You're playing a3. Yeah, I think that's it. Knight c6. You know, let's make a quick recap. We were flicking this move, and then we will have a great attack with simple development. Knight e7 is very bad way of playing. Now bishop d3, do not rush with g4, and after this g4, Gambit scores. Excuse me, I rushed, so now this pawn is hanging. We first defend the pawn, and now do not rush with g4, bishop d3, wait them to castle, and then g4 Gambit is gonna bring you the victory. I mean, they have to play such a move. You can give up also this pawn like queen c2, and this will be lights out. Okay. Queen d7 is, I think, the best try, and that is life. You can play d4, you can play h4, you can play knight a3, Bishop d3 you should not, I think, try. Like, there's a waste of tempo. Black will play bishop a6 anyways. So yeah, that was the move b6, guys. Now let's go to another interesting try after b4, d4. So this is the only exception that we are not gonna get into our familiar French Gambit territory. We have to play a little bit differently. So there are different moves that you can try, like as the arrows point out, a3, bishop b2, but I like bishop d3. It scores best, and it is a decent try. So there are two moves that you should consider: b takes, c takes b4, and knight c6. Let's start with knight c6, slightly more popular, but I think it's a mistake. And now we can take this pawn. We can take this pawn, and after bishop c5, do not play some move like b4, because this move is slightly unpleasant, and we have to give up that bishop. Like, I think if you play such a move now, this d3 move is really annoying. You know, they are threatening to take and ruining all our structure. So we take, they capture, we simply castle, and the idea is queen e2, you know, maybe rook e1, maybe bishop a3, and maybe some c3 breaks later to undermine this pawn, drop pawn on d4. And you might feel like, okay, maybe e5 pawn is weak, they can put some pressure on it, but if they try to do it, it might backfire. It will take a lot of time. Let's say knight g e2 e7 has been played exclusively, but let's say they start with queen c7, we defend the pawn, knight g2 e7, and bishop a3. I like bishop a3. I'm just trying to get rid of this bishop. I mean, you can develop to b3, b2, and then, but I don't like it. I think it's our best interest to get rid of that bishop, and bishop takes a3. Most people play, but b6 is a better. Has scored better, but no. Queen b6, queen a5. Okay, we take, and then now we have to underline or play now such moves. Now knight g6. So this is an unfortunate move, because we should take it. Why we should take it? We will see that. But I will show you, for instance, like right here. Now this queen is misplaced. We have this move, quite unpleasant, and they go back to control this square. And here we should not get tempted by this check, I believe, and it is for our best interest to get rid of that knight. Why? Because well, this bishop might look great, but knight f4 might eventually pick up the bishop, so it is our best interest to get rid of that bishop first, give this check, king f8, and I thought knight g5 is over, but knight g5 they can play f6, and you know, like this queen is looking at the knight, this e5 pawn is under pressure, so you should not rush. Just play some c3 move. You want to get rid of that pawn, most likely, or play like improving moves, bring the rooks like b7 in case this bishop developed. b7 pawn b7 pawn might be a little bit vulnerable. So that's it. If they want to put pressure directly, but most people play knight g2 e7. They want to bring the knight to g6. Quite natural. Now knight g6 once again. Knight f4 might be a little bit of a threat, but we first play bishop a3. Now still queen a5 can be played, but we simply take and get rid of that knight. We want to get rid of that knight because now rook e1, all these moves will run into, for instance, knight f4. Okay, and we want to play d3, maybe to try to develop these pieces like this, like bishop d7, knight b2 to d2. We have some great squares. Queen d5, that queen is lovely centralized, but now we can shift our play. Rook h5 seems interesting, trying to put some pressure on that pawn, and long castle is, you know, it can really backfire with all our I mean, our king is, I think, relatively safer than black's king. Only good thing is black's centralized queen, but I think Sophie says +2, because our attack looks way more dangerous than black's non-existent attack. And in case they start with like knight f4, now we can play queen e4 and knight takes d3. Now we have a very interesting move, c takes d3. Now this secures some great square for our knight in case like captures, like knight c4, knight b5 is really unpleasant. So if they try to keep the tension like this, now we have a cute trap, rook c1, and in case something like this, we will have rook takes c6. Okie dokie. So knight e6, we were playing bishop a3, and if they take, once again we have some great squares for our knight, knight b5, knight c4. If they castle now, though, I really want to take that knight on g6. I really want to take that knight on g6, because knight f4 is annoying. I think queen e4 score really well, but maybe it might run into some f5, I guess. Yeah, queen e4 was a bad move. f5 is really unpleasant. Can we play g3? Might be a little bit slow. Yeah. So it says we should really get rid of that knight. Okay, so we take, play like knight b5. Then we are eyeing the d6 square, and we want to maybe play c3 to put some pressure on that pawn. And yeah, this position has reached 2 times on the online database, and I think white is having a great time. The best move is apparently f6 or d3, trying to ruin our structures. And then okay, some recruit d3 was not easy. f6 is also not easy, I guess, weakening the king side a little bit. And we will have a good time with rook b1 or rook e1. I think we have covered the d4 move exclusively. But I think we haven't covered c takes b4. This is also, I think it is the best move. And we were playing now a3, because we want to develop, and a5 is not that great. We simply gonna undermine the pawn chain with c3 move. So after a3, knight c6 has been played exclusively. And once again, this type of things runs into d3, so we should not take it. We simply castle, and a takes, we simply take it. Now if they try to develop with knight g2 e7, which is quite a reasonable move, this once again doesn't seem promising with, I don't know, bishop a3, knight a3, knight a3. Maybe simply take with the knight. I thought maybe we were stopping knight before, but they can still play it. So knight g2 e7. Now they don't have this is not that great, because we can play bishop e4. And d3 won't trap our rook. Still, I think it's a decent move. No, it's not that great. We simply move the rook and we'll have a good time. So knight g6 has been tried. Now we play c3. And you can take with the pawn too, but I like taking with the knight. Knight c6, we will, I think, will run into some concrete problems. Just I think this queen a4 looks good. d7, and then queen back, looks decent. Knight b5 is also good. And this doesn't look. I translate to this. Knight b5 is good. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, knight g6, just c3, and d takes c3, knight takes c3. If they bring the knight back, now we can play d4 or h4 is interesting with the idea of some very concrete d4 and then d5, just blasting open the center when king is in the middle of the board, like knight takes d5, and yeah, if they try to castle, I think bishop g5 is unpleasant. You can't play f6 because of this move, and we will have a good time. So let's roll the tape back. C takes b4, we were playing a3. If knight c6, we were castling. If knight c2 7, now we take and then play bishop b4. And forever, like the best scoring move is knight g6, which is not that promising after c3 and d takes c3. Knight c3, I like keeping the queens on the board, especially when black's king is in the center, and we will have a good time. Like knight c6, h4 gambit. You can also secure your center with d4 move, and maybe later try to restrict that knight or run the h pawn, and we will have a good time. So this was all about this d4 move, guys. Let's do a quick recap. After d4, we were playing bishop d3. This is the move that I choose. It scores the best. Knight c6, we were simply taking, castling. Knight g2 e7, queen e2, knight g6. They can try jumping. We simply play bishop a3, trying to get rid of that bishop. If they take, we will have good prospects. I recommend you to take that knight and play like a knight b4, c3. If they take, we were playing a3. Now knight c6. We don't want to take directly because of this d3 trick. We simply castle, and if they try to do all, now we can take, put the bishop on e4, knight g6, just c3, and yeah, I think that's it all about the d4 move. And last but not least, there's this bad move, c4. You might see it at like below 2000 level maybe. So the c4 move is very premature because it closes the position. Secondly, it doesn't normally, when they play c4, it should come with tempo. I believe we have to move the like bishop back or something, or to c2. But now it's a bit early. So my move is a3. We just defend the pawn, and the most popular move is a5, which is not good because we can play b5. So if they want to play a5, they should first play b5, so then later they can play a5. But let's see, like a5, we play b5, and a4 is a bad move because now they feel like, okay, I'm just isolating that pawn. But we open up the center with d3, and c takes d3. Here though, most people have taken with the bishop, but actually c takes d3 is a much better move. Why bishop takes d3 is a bad move? Because after knight d7, knight c5 is coming, and we have to either move the bishop and we will lose a tempo. They maybe later put the knight on e4, and so that's why we should take with the c pawn, and it is black's absolute best move to play d4 in this position, which is like the fourth most popular move. If they don't play it, we're gonna play d4, and let's see, for instance, knight d7. Now we play d4. All of our pieces are really restricted by these pawns. This pawn can't be, excuse me for a small camera issue. This pawn is really restricting black's queenside play, and I think the only active move is really f6. I don't see any other active move. How you gonna develop? You can start jumping, but you know, like, that knight is gonna be kicked back. So f6, and you know what to do. Allow black to develop freely, basically. F takes c5, knight takes c5. We have watched the previous video, you know all the plans. That's why black has to play d4, but it is a concession because it gives some juicy squares for our knight, especially to jump. Knight b to d2, pretty standard move. Now knight c5, for instance. Knight e4, I think that square belongs to our other knight, so knight c4 is a better move. They played b6, which is a bad move because of knight g5. Knight g5 with the idea of queen f3 attacking the rook, threatening checkmate, so they have to play bishop e4. And now this move knight e4. Knight d6 is a pretty annoying trait, so black has to give up the bishop, I believe. And after this, maybe I think opening up this bishop with giving up that pawn might be decent, but let's say they try to develop just bishop d3, knight d7, castle, and then we can play like f4, and you know, black has zero active play. If they play like f6, f5, it will weaken their position and open up our bishop as well. We have like queen f3, queen h3, rook f3. This pawn is really well defended by the knight too. This bishop is terrible. I think white is doing great here, plus 1.4. So having said this, let's roll the tape back. Black should not start with a4, because after b6 and something like, we will open up the center, and black will have a really difficult time. So if they wanna start with a5, if they wanna play a5, they should start with b5, so that after a5 we won't be able to push b5 ourselves. But now we play knight c3, we attack the pawn, and the most logical move, a6 is very slow, because like the idea of this is to play a5. So bishop d7, and then later they wanna play like a5, but we simply play d3. We are a little bit faster. They can play a5, but now we take. If they take, we can take, and this pawn is not going anywhere. If they take, and then take, just c3. C3 is important because they want to give this check. If you play some careless move, they will give this check, trade some pieces. We don't want to play c3. We want to play c3. Maybe queen b3, bishop d3, and h4 you can play, and we will have a good time. That pawn is not going anywhere, and this pawn is actually not that weak, you know. Alrighty. What else? If they still wanna play a5, fine. They can do this. And now we play d3. We can't take because of the pin, and we want to undermine the pawn chain. But it might look a little bit strange because, you know, black can push the pawn, but these pawns are not going anywhere, I guarantee you. And now after such a move with c3, we can even play d4. Now this knight is really standing well there, and yeah, I think when we solve the issue of this part of the board, we will have a good time. What has been played, like queen b6. Also we can maybe try to play a4 later if that knight's under attack, like queen b6, bishop d7 has been tried, and let's see some moves like bishop d7. I think we can simply develop, and at this queen b6, let's say we simply secure the knight, and we will have a good time. I don't know, what would you recommend? Knight a6, knight e7 runs into knight d6. Such a move, I think we can take even. I don't see any problem, and then castle, and we will have a good time. So that's it all about this early c4 move. Let's do a quick recap. We're playing a3, and a5 is bad because we were playing b5 and opening up the center later with the d3 move. If they want to play a5 first, they should start with b5 and then knight c3. Now bishop d7, we once again blast open the center with d3, and yeah, if they take this is also really bad. I guess, I mean, we can castle, we can maybe later defend the b4 pawn and open up with a5 too. We will have a good time, and stop is plus 1.5. So I think that's it all about the decline doing Gambit. Sorry, I wanted to keep it short, but I just to make sure you are also familiar with these decline tries. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you in the next Blitz Army series.